Hello, my name is Reese Humphreys, student ID C359176, and this is my 10-minute video for my software systems development code project. On the screen before you, you will see the first part of the assessment, which is the analysis result. I have separated each of it into different parts, so the first part will be the record word, which I have stated if the code is not null or if it's empty, it should continue on. No, sorry, and it should ensure that if it is null or is not null and is not in fact empty, then it continues on with the code. But if it is either one of those, or if it is both null and empty, it stops the code. The line of code here, trim, ensures that there are, in a sense, no spaces in the actual code itself. So it can just do a smooth word, so later on in the code there are no interferences with those extra spaces when it comes to certain parts of the code. The last word is a key part of the code, as seen here, which is, in a sense, the final word in the code. Final word either inputted by the user or other means of code. The word count, as stated here, is again another parameter up here. In a sense, it is the increment of code that just ensures the code's continuation. Well, no, it's the code part of the code that shows how many words have been inputted so far. The longest word and shortest word are here, both in their respective show the longest and shortest word for their respective codes. And the tall characters at the bottom here, which is another parameter at the top here, ensures shows how many characters that have been in the code. And then another parameter that was involved, which appears later on, is the reset counter, which is here. In a sense, that one shows how many times the code has been reset, depending on the code. For each of the specific items, question for tall characters, word or not, separate each of them into their own sections. For tall characters, it just returns the code that is worked out here, because no other. For word count, I made it so that it prints the word count and returns the specific word count, so we can physically see what it's actually outputting for word count here. Similar process for longest, shortest, and last word. Just return wherever the respective thing is, whilst also printing it out so we can physically see it. The get average takes, in this part of the code, it takes the last word, and if the last word's length is 0, then it returns 0, because there was no word, therefore there was no length. And if it does possess a word, then it's going to double character over word count, total characters over word count, which would give the average word length. Then the reset first it adds onto the reset, making it so that the total for the reset count goes up, and then it just resets every variable back to 0. So I can physically show these results by running the test. As you can see, it did that. So on here, if I were to go to this part of the code, which is the test all, as you can see, Thunder entered, word count 1, and this part of the code said it didn't repeat it 10 times. It did it so 10 times, and also did the other variable parts of the code to ensure it all matched and whatnot. So yeah. Next we move on to the dictionary analyzer. For this part of the code, there are, in a sense, it takes the code that is listed here, similar to the previous test, and ensures that it completes it as well. So for the main sets, there is dictionary itself, the unknown words, the known words. Then for this, the add to dictionary, it has the reader, which is a set parameter. Then there is string next line, which will act as, in a sense, a new line within the quote-unquote dictionary, so no words can be added on to follow. And the next line is equal to the reader, as previously stated here, dot read line, which is reading the next line from the file. Then while next line is not null, which is not empty, it strips it, it trims the white spaces from the next line, whilst that code while this line of code, which in a sense loops it, there is no need for this, which ensures that the code loops, but added it just to show that it is possible to loop it. The next line of the code, which involves next line again, changes the entire line into lowercase. Then if the next line is equal to nothing, it removes that line from the dictionary itself. Else, it trims down the code so it's no spaces and whatnot, and then this just ensures that it reads the next line, and then this closes it. Next part is involving analyzing the actual file. So if dictionary is empty, false equals 0. If it is if it is not empty, sorry, I'm reading my own code wrong. Dictionary should contain some of the words prior to it, so it's empty, and then clear the existing known and unknown words, which it does here. Then it's going to select input file, which is the specific file that we have. String next word, which we've previously stated, is going to read the next word. And then this command, in a sense, processes it. And from here, it will process all available words, verify whenever the word is in the dictionary. If it is, then record as a known word, which is shown doing here. Otherwise, if it is not a known word, then it records the unknown word as an unknown here, and then it goes on to read the next word on here. Then we have generate report, which prints out the, in a sense, the data for it. So it prints out the size of it, the number of unknown words, and the number of known words. And then down here, the clear dictionary will not ensures that all previous code just auto completes it and whatnot. Just to ensure it, and I can further prove that this works by running a test, as you can see. Right, okay. Next is the word frequency analyzer. In here, in a sense, is counting the number of specific words that occur, so any repeating words and whatnot. So, created a map, string and integer based for word count, hash based, due to the fact that it allows us to track words multiple times to do so. Utilizing the file that previously created, we can clear the word count, so as previously stated here, to ensure it's clear and functions properly and no repeating data is within. Then we select input file, which is us selecting the specific file as stated here from previous bits of code. And then this is just like the previous code, selecting the specific word and processing all available words. And then this the code is checking if the word is known. If so, it increments the occur count, otherwise adds the count to 1, which is what occur here. And again, here it moves on to the next word. Here is the, in a sense, the report for the specific code. And then here is the most popular word, which in a sense is just, for this bit of code, is just going through that massive list of words and finding out which one is, in a sense, the most common. And then here is just ensuring that we're able to find it. This one is the exact same as the most, but in fact is the first and going for the least. So since I go for the maximum, it goes for the minimum. Unique word, that is that part of the code, in a sense, looks for any unique based words that may be within it and does account for them, and then returns all the number of entries of the words within the actual map itself. Okay. Then this part looks up the word within the word count, returns the value, the count if it exists, which is what it does here, and if it not exists, because if it is not exist, cause error. So if it causes an error or if the code fails in some form, it just does this, and that just further ensures it. And then this, I'll show that this part of the code is all variable and whatnot by showing this. Voila. And then finally we move on to character frequency. In a sense, for this is counting the code, the characters within the thing and separating it each, so there'll be, in a sense, at a minimum of 26 characters for lowercase, 26 in uppercase, and whatnot. And we've separated all that into, we have the map, not similar to the previous one, but we've also done a vowel count, a non-vowel count, a single character word count, and a multiple character word count. For these two, in a sense, it stores letters that recur multiple times within a word, like for example L's, E's, I's, whatnot. And here we're doing a similar thing to the previous code when it comes to analyzing it for the frequency, and it just clears it to ensure that it's back to 0, and it just counts. This basically says that each of the 4 values, as previously stated up here, is 0. Selects the file in question that has all the words and goes word from word through and finds out the intel about it. And then this is checking if it's a vowel, if so, increment correct attribute on here, and if the word length is 1, then increment attribute counts as a single character word, which it does here. Otherwise, increases the multiple. And here it just ensures it goes to the next line as done in previous things. The generate report, like others, just generates the values that it's previously gotten. This one, like in the word frequency, we have a character frequency, most popular character, and the least popular character, both of which just explain what's going on. With the fact that also we have code that allows us to return the specific variables such as vowel count, non-vowel count, and so on and so forth, which I can prove this is working due to the fact that if I run a test on this, as shown here. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.